Or do you feel safe telling Kody everything and anything?
Yeah. Just about, yeah.
Hello, besties. It's Mary at Sister Wives Daily, and we're exploring today a tale so mired in denial, favoritism, and broken relationships that you won't believe how far down the rabbit hole it actually goes. Picture being so lost in denial that, years later, after your husband's previous wives up and leave because he more or less dumped them for you still insist that you don't get why others feel like you're treated differently. Seriously, how do you gaze around at the fallout and still manage to say, I don't get it? That's the reality of Robyn Brown's world. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal isn't just shocking. It's revealing in ways that change the way you'll see the whole Sister Wives saga. Robyn has publicly insisted she doesn't believe Kody favors her. That's right. Even though Kody himself has openly admitted he treats her differently than he did the others. At this point, how can she possibly deny it? Wouldn't the honest response be, yes, he favored me. I'm the only one still here. But no, Robyn seems stuck in this alternate reality where favoritism doesn't exist, even as the rest of the family walks away, one by one. Remember when Robyn first joined the family? She told Mary straight up, I can't do this family without you. For years, she leaned on Mary, insisted she was only staying for Mary, that she needed Mary to survive in the plural dynamic. Fast forward to now, Mary's gone, along with Christine and Janelle, and yet Robyn's still here. So, what does that say about her original claims? Now, here's the kicker that'll blow your mind, because what follows next shows so much more than failed promises. Janelle revealed and testified that Kody became more controlling and nasty when Robyn came into the family. In her opinion, he began to act as Robyn's personal bodyguard, protecting her, making excuses for her, and allowing her to dodge responsibility. Janelle feels that Robyn never did want the polygamous lifestyle, not as the family had been living it anyway. And honestly, that makes sense. Let's dig deeper. In polygamy, it's not an uncommon thing for the new wife to be the favorite. It's mean, but it occurs. The new young wife is at the forefront, and the rest are gradually relegated to the back burner. They cease to be viewed as producers. They're no longer producing children. They're no longer fresh, and so they're emotionally put on the shelf. Ring a bell? Robyn may have entered into the family willing to become a part of plural marriage, but I believe she had one motive: to get to the top. She did not want just a place at the table. She wanted the throne. She became the legal wife, the first choice, and the most powerful. Whether she realized it or not, she maneuvered herself into the queen bee role. Now here's where it gets ugly. Robyn's inability to admit any of this may stem from one of three sources: delusion, self-preservation, or narcissism. When Suki sat down with her and asked the tough questions about the favoritism, the gossip from the other wives, the true reasons the family imploded, Robyn provided responses that left people agog. And believe me, what she had to say in return, you won't want to skip it.
Why do you think it's not the same that Janelle feels that?
I don't know. I don't know why she feels that way.
Now, here's where it might have really gotten interesting, but didn't. In a recent interview, rather than pushing for responsibility, Suki provided Robyn with an easy way out. She asked her about why Kody and Janelle were fighting, entirely avoiding the fact that she was truly involved. And what did Robyn respond with? She shrugged it off by saying something like, "There's too much attention on me. I just hope they keep my name out of it." Yes, on the surface, we've all been there. Nobody wants to be the subject of gossip or drama. But in this instance, that remark rang hollow, because the truth requires harder questions. Why didn't everyone just go up to Robyn and say, "What did you say to Kody that so upset Janelle?" Or even, "Did you have a talk with Janelle that you manipulated or informed Kody about in a manner that blew things out of proportion?" Because that's what the evidence appears to indicate. Let's go back a little and examine a pattern that's difficult to deny. Throughout the years, we've witnessed Robyn overreact to even the slightest slights, sometimes to incidents that weren't even slights to begin with. Take the notorious personality test moment with Christine, for instance. Christine read the results to Robyn, telling her that her type is attracted to drama. Robyn didn't shrug it off. She took offense, deeply, and from there on out, she positioned herself as a victim. This is where it gets ugly, because that pattern continued. Again and again, Robyn would take the slightest remark or incident as an attack, and then rush to Kody and report, "They're being mean to me." And instead of being dispassionate and inquiring, Kody would be on offense, on Robyn's behalf. Suddenly, he found himself in the middle of battles that he had no right meddling with. And guess what? Robyn, who had once said she never introduced Kody into her relationships with the other wives, was now doing the very thing, again and again, and the other wives saw it. Christine, Janelle, even Mary, each one at some point called this out. And at one very fiery moment, Janelle confronted Kody outright, effectively saying, "How is it possible you could possibly know what transpired between me and Robyn unless Robyn told you?" Boom. That's the crux of it. But rather than respond to her question, Kody shut it down. He deflected. He would not see the obvious, that Robyn was only giving him her side of things and stoking his anger and driving him away from the others. It was emotional manipulation in the guise of helplessness. And that's precisely how Robyn staged it, sitting back as the damsel in distress, the one who was bullied, the one who was in need of protection. But what she was actually doing was subtly turning Kody against the other wives, individually. She sowed seeds of distrust, fueled tales of deceit, and watched as the family crumbled, all while playing the innocent card. And now, years later, rather than taking ownership of any of it, she simply says, "Keep my name out of your mouth. No taking responsibility. No looking back. Just deflecting."
He never was this mean. I've never seen him be so mean and so,
Since Kody Brown would rather brush any reference to him and Robyn off as simply bad commentary on the internet, let's just go ahead and add some more irrelevant noise. Because apparently, fact now counts as background noise. But I ask you this, and feel free to contradict me if I'm wrong. Isn't it starting to look like Robyn has learned exactly how to get on Kody's bad side, so he is her favorite tool? Here's the trend, and it's hard to disagree. Robyn is upset. Maybe it's something small. Maybe it's something that never even happened the way she says. She storms over to Kody, plays the victim in a situation with one of the wives, and voila, he explodes in their direction. Instead of handling the wives herself, she gets Kody to fight her battles for her. No yelling matches, no direct confrontation, just emotional manipulation. She manipulates, and Kody reacts. That's what I think Janelle has been trying to unveil. Kody's anger didn't come from thin air. It was almost always traced back to something Robyn claimed happened. And even worse, we've heard echoes of this same story from others in the family. Garrison, God rest his soul, even said before his passing that Robyn had a habit of hearing something, twisting it, playing the victim, and then weaponizing Kody's loyalty. It wasn't about hurting each other. It was about turning the script around and demonizing the other person. And what did Kody do? Kody, completely gaslighted, would show up to these relationships already upset, already on the defensive. So basically, Robyn stays her hands clean. She sits back and lets Kody throw fits, then plays dumb like she didn't have a clue what was happening. That's why, when she's finally called out on it, she can pretend like she didn't know anything. She shrugs, deflects, and says things like, "I don't know what they're talking about." But we do, and the cycle is obvious. Janelle hit it on the head when she explained that Robyn's behavior wasn't just stressful for the family, it affected Kody. He got nastier, angrier, more argumentative, And that change didn't happen overnight. It was a reaction to manipulation. What's even more disturbing is that their relationship appears codependent. They both subsist on one another in self-destructive ways, but in Robyn's case, it allowed her the option to creepily attack the other wives, to make Kody turn on them, and to allow all the negative attention not to fall on herself. And the kicker is, I truly think that now that this dynamic, the external conflict, the scapegoats, the chaos, is absent from their lives, it's only a matter of time before Robyn and Kody's relationship begins to crack. Without the other wives to blame and demonize, without the drama to divert his attention, Kody's going to begin noticing Robyn for who she is. And when he no longer gets a payoff from protecting her, and she can no longer use his tantrums to shield herself, the implosion may be inevitable. That's my view, but one held by many a viewer as well. And let's not forget, this isn't just about Janelle. Robyn's pattern of manipulation and rewriting is also applied to Meri. Remember that time when Robyn acted like she wasn't in the mood for being jealous at Kody and Meri having a moment of connection? If she didn't care whatsoever, why uninvite herself, with a dusty gift from her basement no less? That wasn't support. That was a passive-aggressive move to exert power. And then, of course, there is the issue of Gwendolyn's engagement party. Robyn once more relates her side of things, but skips one enormous detail. There were never supposed to be cameras present. The only reason filming ever occurred was because Kody and Robyn showed up uninvited, and with a camera crew. And yet, when Suki questions Robyn about it, the questions are worded so as never to quite get at anything directly. Christine was upset because Kody never even gave them a heads up that he was going to be there. And what gets lost in all of it? The fact that once more, Robyn hijacked things in order to make herself the misfit or victim, when, in actuality, she inserted herself, brought production into a personal affair, and then acted dumb when folks were offended. The truth is, Gwendolyn's engagement party was never meant to be recorded. She made that clear publicly, and the manner in which that event was hijacked is just abhorrent. Before she even arrived at her own party, Gwendolyn was apparently bullied into signing an NDA. Let that sit. On one of the most important days of her life, she was ambushed, bullied into silence, and she was furious because she knew precisely why it was done. She sensed her dad, Kody, and Robyn came with one purpose only: control. Control of the narrative, control of her voice, control of how they were perceived. Gwendolyn had been speaking up on Patreon about Kody and Robyn up until that point, and this NDA seemed like an attempt to silence her under the guise of celebration. Christine wasn't upset that they went. She was upset that they did it. Because it was manipulative. It was done to get a reaction. It wasn't about Gwendolyn. It was about optics. Let's call a spade a spade. They came with an agenda. Robyn and Kody didn't give the family any warning. They showed up on the day of and only promised to show up after they were guaranteed that cameras would be rolling. That's why Christine was furious. This wasn't about co-parenting cringe. It was about exploiting a family event for television theatrics. And Robyn? Asked to respond to Christine's irritation, she totally sidestepped. She minimized it with some shallow comment about how divorce is humiliating and you just have to rip the Band-Aid off. Like, come on, that's the best she could manage? While we're here, let's talk about the actual episode. Christine herself spoke of how much she felt bad for her daughter, because the time that was meant to be spent on Gwendolyn was stolen. What did we actually witness? A plot regarding Kody meeting Christine's fiancé, David. That is what was showcased, not Gwendolyn, not Beatrice. We didn't witness Gwendolyn opening presents. We didn't hear Beatrice's voice. There was no celebration of their love. It was turned into a background for Kody's drama. And that was not a coincidence. The true motivation Kody showed up? Twofold. One, He knew David was going to be there, and he desired a fight on camera. He desired a moment. 2. He wanted the spotlight back on himself and needed to redefine the story to suit his agenda. And it succeeded. Gwendolyn's engagement party was made a scene on Kody's show, not her party. And this is what's even more disturbing. Gwendolyn then claimed that there was a TLC producer on the door with an NDA. She had to sign it just to attend her own party, and said NDA allegedly had spoilers and harming the show's brand. All this allegedly staged by Robyn and Kody. Why? Because Kody was already furious that Christine wouldn't pipe down the kids. He had evidently threatened to call in TLC, maybe even a lawyer, when her kids didn't stop posting about him online. Peden had exclaimed just the other day before the engagement party that in so many words. So instead of working it out as an adult man, Kody used this party as a setup to intimidate Gwendolyn into keeping silent and to stage a scene for the cameras. This was not about Christine still being bitter about the divorce. It was all about Kody and Robyn wanting to control the moment, manipulate, and spin their story. And Robyn, who insists Christine must learn to co-parent like an adult? Let us not forget, she had her own ex-consent to sign away his parental rights so that Kody could adopt her children. She wrote him out of their lives. She's the very last person who should be giving advice on respectful co-parenting. The hypocrisy is tiring. The levels of manipulation, gaslighting, and rewriting history perpetrated by Robyn are endless. But finally, someone is calling her out on it. Janelle, thank you. What do you think? Are you seeing the same patterns of behavior here? Leave your comments below. I'd love your take on this. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And don't forget to click the bell so that you don't miss any uploads. Thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.